First off, Cade, thanks for joining us today. Go for it, Jacob.
Yeah, Kate, it's Jacob Unruh with the Oklahoman. Thanks for joining us. It's been a long time coming, right? It's good to speak with you in person. Tell me, kind of walk us through this process after the NCAA infractions come down, kind of your process of how you came to decide to stick with your commitment to Oklahoma State.
Well, at first it's tough because when they first make the ruling, all emotions are running super high. So, you want to explore all your options and everything. But after kind of settling down and really looking into everything, at the end of the day, Coach Boynton is who I wanted to play for. It would have been tough for me to, go overseas and go play for a foreign coach or, even the G League or anything. I just hadn't built a connection with anybody like that. So Coach Boynton I already had a great relationship with, and that's what I wanted to play for.
How much did Isaac Likely or anyone like that on the team influence your decision or your relationship with the recruiting class?
Well, I mean, the whole team, there's a lot of dudes that are from my area anyway. So, like you said, Isaac's from my area. He's also from Arlington. Rondell Walker I'd already played with AAU with. Chris Harris, Avery, Montreal. There's a lot of guys from Dallas-Fort Worth area. So, being around those guys I was already used to. And, I wanted to spend the year around people that I'm comfortable with and family.
You also were training with Moncrief. What was it like training with him down there?
Yeah, so he came from Canada to work out with me for like a month. He moved in with my cousin Ashton. And, it was really good to, just build a relationship with him and kind of get familiar with his game and who he is as a person. So I think it's made it a lot easier transitioning into, starting to get to work out with him and everything like that.
Thanks, Cade.
No problem.
Let's go. Next question from Jenny. Go for it.
Hey, Cade, Jenny Carlson. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, you mentioned wanting to play for Coach Boynton, and he's said to us in the last few weeks that there's probably nobody outside your family you've talked to more in the last 4 years. So you've gotten to know him beyond basketball. Tell us a little bit about what you've gotten to know about Mike Boynton and just what that relationship has become over the years.
I think the biggest thing about him is he's more about, loyalty and the people that are around him, people that, are good to him, he's good too. And overall, he's just a super genuine dude. He's had a lot of adversity since he's been a head coach at Oklahoma State, but he never feels bad for himself. He never makes excuses. He just kind of keeps going. So, having that as the leader of the program, I feel like, that's somebody that I can learn from a whole lot. And down the road, I feel like that's somebody I can have a great relationship with, 20 years down the line.
The day that the sanctions were announced, he was on a call with reporters and said that he had made some somewhat frantic phone calls to all of you, to all the players to try to share the news. Can you talk a little bit about what was that call like? What stands out to you from that call and then subsequent calls with him over maybe the next day or two?
Yeah, I think the craziest thing about the call was the way he approached it to me. I don't think there's any other coach. I mean, I might be wrong. I can't tell. Nobody else has been in that situation, but there's not a lot of coaches that I can think of that would, tell a recruit, do what you want to do. I'm going to help you if you want to leave. I'm going to help you. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to hear that from anybody else. And, I feel like that meant a whole lot to me because I knew that he really cared about me as a person instead of just the player that I am. So it was definitely a crazy day. My phone was blowing up and everything, but, hearing that from him meant a whole lot to me.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Next question coming from Marshall Scott. Go for it, Marshall.
Hey, Cade, Marshall, good to meet you. What's kind of been you've been around the guys for about a week now. What's kind of been your early sense on the team? Not basketball wise, you guys haven't dived too far into that yet, but just the early sense on the team, how you guys are getting along and stuff like that.
I think we have a good togetherness already. Maybe just because we're all from the same area and we've already got to know each other previously before we got here. But I feel like our personalities really mesh well together. And nobody's has like too big of an ego or anything. And I think that's a big thing going into the season because, we have a lot of good pieces and everything. So, having guys be ready to buy in and, just willing to come in and work, I feel like that means a lot.
One guy in particular I'm kind of interested in is Montreal. He's not very big on social media. Was kind of a lower ranked recruit. Just you played with him obviously last summer. What can you tell me about Montreal?
No, Montreal is one of my greatest friends in life. He went to Arlington Martin, which was the rival of my high school, and we played the last 3 AAU seasons together. So, that's one of my closest buddies. He came and worked out with me a bunch of times over the summer. So he's not really into social media. He's a super under the radar guy, but he's a special athlete. And I think he brings a whole lot to the table that being so underrated, I feel like that'll help us a lot.
Thank you.
No problem.
Next up, let's go with Frank Bonner from Tulsa World.
Hey, Cade, good to finally talk with you. Looking back at your initial decision to commit to OSU, what were some of the biggest factors that played into your initial decision?
I think, my recruitment was such a weird one, just because it was like a big old roller coaster, a lot of highs, a lot of lows. But I think the biggest thing was, the sense of family with the team. I feel like Coach Boynton, out of all my visits, all 5 of the schools that I visited were great programs and have a lot of great things going. But, the thing that was different for me was Coach Boynton is so family oriented. The team, when they were on my visit, we all went to his house and the team knew every in and out, every inch of the house. Like they've been there 1,000 times. And you can tell on your visits, you can tell when a team is uncomfortable, like we don't ever do this on our, like, why are we spending, why are we making this time so special for this recruit? You can tell. And, the team was acting like this is what we do. And I guess Cade is here this time. So, I feel like that meant a whole lot to me. And it was just the little stuff that was super important to me. And then it's not too far from my house. So I live in Big 12 country, so my family can come watch a whole lot of games.
And what were all the 5 schools, including OSU, that you had visited?
I visited OSU, Kentucky, North Carolina, Washington, and Florida.
And what was your initial introduction to Boynton? Obviously, you guys have a pretty strong relationship. When did that relationship start?
It started my freshman year in the practice before any games. I hadn't played any high school games yet. And we were in our preseason workouts, which is really just conditioning and stuff. But we played a little bit of pickup ball. And I had a teammate, Kyle Edwards. He's at Texas Tech right now. And he was the one that was getting all the recruitment. So, I didn't come in thinking to even be recruited. I figured I was just a freshman. So he came in and he watched me a couple times. And he walked up to me and just offered me. He was like, I want to, extend you a scholarship to University of Oklahoma State University. And I was like, what? And so he told me later on that Brad Underwood didn't even know that he was offering me. So later on, and now looking back, when I talked to Coach Underwood afterwards, Coach Underwood was even kind of like, well, I guess Coach Boynton really likes you. I guess we're going to recruit you. It's just a crazy story, but Coach Boynton, he believed in me so much early on, and I'm super thankful for that.
Appreciate it, Cade.
Yeah, no problem.
Next question from Nathan Thompson. Go for it.
Hey, Cade. Obviously, with the NCAA punishment, the big thing is the postseason ban. Whether it's winning an appeal or going through the courts, how confident are you that you will actually get to play in the postseason if you guys qualify, and how important is that to you?
I think it's super important, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I still feel like there's so much that we can accomplish as a team to impact the program for the future that I feel like that would mean a whole lot to us anyway. So, playing in the postseason, I feel like it's always been a dream of mine. But I'm really just excited to get to work with the team and see if we can win a Big 12 conference tournament or a conference championship. Or, just get as much success as we can. I feel like there's still a lot of goals that we can accomplish.
So you just go into this season thinking you're not going to get a chance to play in the postseason, and if it happens that you are able to, that's kind of like extra?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get my hopes up, but if they do allow us to be in there, I think we will definitely be ready for it. We're gonna prepare the whole season like we're gonna play in the Final Four, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We're not gonna get our hopes up too much, but we want to be the best team that we can be.
And you talked a little bit about kind of your decision-making process and sticking with OSU. How close would you say you were to maybe changing your mind and going somewhere else after the sanctions came down?
I mean, at first, emotions were high, but I didn't really have, a destination in my mind. But after maybe a day, I knew who I wanted to play for. I figured, Coach Boynton is such a great basketball mind. Our whole staff is full of, good basketball minds, and I feel like that's the biggest thing that'll help me as a player is, surrounding myself around people that really know the game. So, I feel like there was still so much I could still accomplish, and all of my goals were still intact at staying at Oklahoma State. So, I mean, I announced that I was going to come back later just because I let the media do their thing, and it didn't really matter too much to me. So I was just kind of chilling away from my phone, but I knew where I was going.
I guess the other question besides the sanctions is in the middle of a pandemic here, are you confident you guys will get to play a season?
That's the goal. It's tough to say right now. There's a lot of unknowns, but we're gonna prepare like there's gonna be a season, and work as hard as we can in this off season to get ready for it, so that if they do say that there is a season, we're prepared and we're gonna win games. And if not, then we're still gonna train to be the best players that we can be until we do get to play basketball again. So that's the biggest thing. Just keep working hard and see where we can get.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
And for our next question, Cliff Brunt with the Associated Press.
Hey, Cade, what's going on?
How you doing?
I'm good. So I got a two-part question. One is, how much of a factor in you staying is the fact that your brother is on the staff? And then the second thing is, how do you feel about the fact that you're going to be playing in a way for him and working with him?
My brother has been one of my best friends in life. He's been my biggest life coach besides my parents. So, being around him for another year was super important to me. But, I feel like him being there was just the cherry on top. But I feel like, the whole program as a whole was the foundation and everything else in between, which, that's what won me over. And then having my brother being here, it made it almost a no-brainer for me. So, having Kenan here, it means a whole lot. Him and my cousin Ashton are two of the biggest reasons why I am the player that I am today. So, being able to work a full season with them, I feel like will help my game tremendously.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
And the next question, let's go to Mark Cooper.
Hey, Cade. Hope you're doing well and healthy. I'm curious. You obviously visited a number of schools with a lot of tradition and recent success, and you've mentioned family a number of times. Why was the family atmosphere at Oklahoma State so important that whatever a Kentucky or a North Carolina could offer in terms of what they've done on the court recently wasn't enough to sway you?
I think something that doesn't really go noticed in recruitment is, I kind of experienced this being out at Montverde for 2 years and not having any family around, or, I got to really build and get close with my team and my coaches. But I think being comfortable is so important with how you play on the court as well as going to practices. I feel like, being at Oklahoma State, I was going to be more comfortable here than at any of the other schools that, I was considering. All those schools are great programs, and I feel like I could have been successful in all those schools. But, being comfortable and wanting to go to practice at 5 a.m. with these guys and, being able to run suicides with guys that I've known for a long time and I know are going to have my back. I feel like all that stuff really makes a difference. And, having teammates like this and having, such a staff like the one I have now, I feel like all that played a big role into it. And, I'm happy with my decision.
And then a number of your peers are entering the kind of the newly created G League team. What conversations did you have with the officials in the G League? What did they kind of present to you? And What were your thoughts on that whole program, and how did you decide not to go that route?
Well, I kind of stayed out of it. My family kind of took care of that. But my family's always been super transparent with, everything that's being offered to me. And what I'm getting myself into, what they're being told, they let me know. So, they did reach out. They did offer me whatever, but at the end of the day, I feel like, being in college, I feel like that will help me. Big 12 is a big platform. There's a lot of games on ESPN. And, being able to showcase the player that I am and my talents, I feel like that was really big for me because, I want the average basketball fan to know who Cade Cunningham is instead of, the analysts that know basketball and that's what they do is watch every day. So I feel like that was a really big thing for me. And, just working and, trying to be the best player I can be in the college atmosphere where I can have a college weight room and everything like that, I feel like that was big for me.
And just to clarify, did they reach back out to you at all after the sanctions were announced a few weeks ago, or no?
Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of reached out after that. Everybody tried to, make one more jab at it, but we kind of just kept at a distance and just kind of stayed tunnel vision and stayed focused on what we were trying to do.
Thanks, Cade.
No problem. Appreciate you.
And next question, Ryan Novinsky with the Ocali.
Hi, Cade. This time last year, you and Isaac likely were playing in the FIBA Under-19 tournament over there overseas. How much did that impact your recruiting decision, and what was that experience like for you?
Playing with Ice, was a really big thing for me because I got to see how he was not only on the court and in the locker room, but, off the court a little bit better than I had previously just being in the same city together. And, I really fell in love with the fact that he's a guy that's going to do whatever it takes to win. He doesn't have a high ego at all. He just, he's going to do whatever it takes. So being the defender that he is, the hustle guy that he is, along with being, such a great playmaker, I feel like me and him will be able to play off of each other really well.
Thank you.
No problem. Appreciate you. I think you're on mute, Steve.
Oh, am I? Can you guys hear me now?
There we go.
There we go. Danielle, did you have a question?
Yes, I did. Hi, Cade. Danielle Dwyer here. Kind of piggybacking off the last question, a year ago, you and Isaac were winning the gold with the USA in that tournament. How would you describe just kind of what this last year has been like for you since winning that? Is there anything you feel like specifically in your game that you have grown? And then what it's like now to think a year later you're reuniting with Isaac in Stillwater now?
First off, I never thought that I would ever win a gold medal, just growing up. So being able to do that I wouldn't even call it a dream come true because I didn't even really get to dream of that. I didn't think that was attainable. But, being able to do that, and then now that's my teammate that I've already played with, I've already built a relationship with. I feel like I've grown as a player a whole lot. Just steadily improving, each of my skills. But I also think that Ice has grown a whole lot. So I feel like, both of us are coming back in and being players that, are a lot better than the last time we played together. But we still have the same, egos that we want to do whatever it takes to win. So I feel like, playing this year is going to be super fun for me. And, he's already been in the Big 12 a couple years. So being able to pick his brain on what to expect and everything, I feel like that helped me a whole lot.
And just a quick follow-up, we saw so many of the players taking to social media about kind of almost a recommitment of their decision to stay with Coach Boynton and stay with the program. How much do you think just going through something of this magnitude, the possibility of that postseason ban, all those sanctions that the NCAA handed down to you guys, how much do you think that kind of brings you even closer together as a unit? How much do you think that might actually help you guys grow as a team and play stronger this year?
I think it's gonna bring us together a whole lot because, we had the ruling to not play in the postseason, but NCAA also gave us the opportunity to go to another school and be, eligible immediately. And for everybody to pass that up and still come back and choose to come back, it says a lot about the players, but I almost feel like it says a whole lot more about the coaching staff and, what they preach to the team. There's a lot of returners that chose to come back, which, if you don't like a coach too much, you're not going to come back if you have the opportunity to go be eligible somewhere else. So, I had never played for Coach Boynton before, but to see, all the returning guys wanted to come back and play for him again, I feel like that says so much more about Coach Boynton than anything.
And sorry, lastly, with regards to your brother, you talked about just how much of an influence he's played on your life so far and how much more you think he could help you now within this program. What specifically, is there anything that has been a huge key to you so far in your growth that you've gotten mainly from him, just growing up with him and playing ball with him?
I think the biggest thing is, knocking out outside noise, but also just staying patient with everything. Now I'm in the position that, a lot of things can kind of go at my speed, especially on the court. But off the court, I don't have to get rushed by, people giving me these fake opportunities or, everything that, all the fake love. I feel like he's just, really helped me handle all the new responsibilities of being the player that I am. And, I feel like without him, who knows how I'd be taking all this and if I'd be the man that I am right now. So, I'm just super thankful for that. And that's just all the off the court stuff. On the court, he's, he knows what he's doing. So it's hard to explain. He's just a genius on that. So, I'm just excited to be able to have more time with him. And now he lives 5 minutes from me. So, again, it's easy.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Next question, Garen Emig, you are up.
Hey, thanks so much for making time for us. First of all, really appreciate this. Do you have a favorite NBA player or role model from the league?
It's tough. I switch a whole lot. LeBron has been probably my biggest influence just throughout my childhood, just because he's been, the best since I've been around and watching basketball. But right now, I watch a whole lot of Luka Doncic just because I'm a huge. I grew up in Dallas, so Dirk was my guy, and now Luka's the new Dallas Mavs guy. So Luka, and we have pretty similar body types, so probably Luka right now.
Do you have a game that you, I know you're not at Luka's stage. Obviously, you've got a few years to grow into that. But are there any similarities to how you see the game or play the game that you like to attach to either one of those guys?
I think they're both really big time playmakers. And like you said, those guys are on such a high level that that's the level that I dream of being on. That's the level that I'm working for. But just watching them, the way that they see the game and make defenses almost do what they want them to do. They manipulate defenses so well. And I watch a lot of film on both of those guys, so I try to take as much as I can. So I feel like copying always works in basketball. So I'm gonna do that as much as I can.
Yeah. Very cool. Thank you.
For sure.
And next question, Dan Hawk, you are up.
All right. Hopefully you can hear me, Cade. In the landscape of everything that's been going on with HBCUs, I know that you already had the commitment to go to OSU, but do you see that being a potential for future top talent to forego going to Power 5 and going to HBCUs? And was it even any possibility, even a discussion with anything for you?
I'd really love to see it grow. I think McCord Maker going there is a really big first step for it. It was a really bold move, and I'm super happy for him. I feel like it was a great move for him just because it brings more awareness to it. But, I was never recruited by any HBCUs, so, I only liked HBCUs because all my childhood friends, parents went to them, and, they're going to them now. So I've always been a fan of HBCUs. Grambling versus Prairie View game has always been such a big event that everybody wants to go to. But, I definitely advise all my little bros that are coming up right now, go to HBCUs in Oklahoma State.
All right. Next question, Caden McFarland.
Cade, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Maybe it's too soon to say, but since you do have familiarity with several of the guys on the team, how do you see kind of your role and what you may be asked to do and how you fit in with this squad?
No, I think I'll fit in just fine. The team knows what I do well, and I think they're going to let me be me. And I think that's the biggest thing. I don't feel like I'm being limited by any older guys saying, you have to wait your turn for this or anything. They're going to let me be the guy that I am because I don't feel like I'm a selfish player. I feel like, I make the right basketball play. And I feel like, they want to have that on their team. I feel like they want to be on the receiving end of that. So I think us using each other, I feel like that's the attitude right now, and I feel like that'll carry on through the season.
And, Oklahoma State obviously has a really great history, but they don't have a history of having guys who would be the number one player in the country come in. So there is a different anticipation and excitement, and I'm sure expectation level. You get a kick out of that. I would assume the fact that you chose Oklahoma State means you welcome that challenge.
Definitely. I really like the University of Oklahoma State. I love it. And I feel like this is the opportunity to get that history rolling and start a new trend of you can be a top guy and go to Oklahoma State and succeed. I feel like Oklahoma State was the perfect fit for me because of the Big 12, the coaching staff, the location. I feel like there were a lot of different factors that played in, but I don't really feel any pressure of playing basketball because that's a game that I've done since I was a little kid. So, there's no pressure in playing basketball. It's a game at the end of the day, and I feel like I'm pretty good at it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Next question, Ryan Novinsky, you are up again.
Hi, Cade. Yeah, so whether it's you as, obviously the number one recruit or just an average student, a lot of freshmen this coming fall are going to face a, unordinary freshman year. So what are your thoughts on your upcoming academic freshman year and all the social distancing and masks that are going to be taking place on campus?
Right now, I'm just kind of going with the flow. There's not a lot of knowing in what we're going to be doing and how the school year is going to look. So right now, it's just more about, getting ready for the season. And once August comes around and everybody starts moving in, we're all wearing our masks and everything. We're kind of distancing ourselves from everybody. So we're trying to, I'm really happy that Oklahoma State is, and our coaches and everybody, we've been handling it really well and they're keeping us super safe with it. But, who knows? It's hard to tell right now. We're just going to go with the flow and I'm going to try to get good grades and score a lot of points. So we'll see.
Thank you.
And next question, Jacob Unruh, you are up.
I've already heard kind of some rumblings of these pickup games you guys are already playing. What are those like? What's standing out to you during those?
Well, I mean, right now we haven't really got to be on the court too much together. I don't know how those rumors and stuff got out, but no, we haven't really got to. I wish we'd be able to play a little bit more together on the court. But right now we're just kind of get to know each other, outside the court right now, in the dorms and just spend the time together. And I feel like when we get on the court, I feel like it's gonna be a good togetherness just off of what we already started building.
I have to ask you. You mentioned LeBron earlier. We asked Ice this last season, I think, but LeBron or Michael Jordan?
Ooh, you put me on the spot with that one. Now I'm growing up in the LeBron era, so I have to say LeBron just because out of respect. You know what I'm saying? I have to say LeBron. But I'm not going to argue with anybody that says Michael Jordan at all. That's Michael Jordan. I can't argue with that. So, I did watch the documentary, and it did wake me up on a lot of things. But I did watch a lot of Michael Jordan highlights and stuff. But I grew up with LeBron, so I'm gonna pick LeBron.
That's fair. I grew up with Michael Jordan, so.
Yeah, so I feel like you should be picking Michael Jordan in that case.
Exactly. Okay. Well, I feel like I got a good answer out of that. I appreciate it, Cade.
Yeah, no problem.
And Frank Bonner, you are up. Go for it.
Hey, Cade, a while ago, after you guys had signed, Boynton talked about the opportunity to have some really good competitive practices. Looking at, your individual game, how important is it to know that you have guys on the roster like Ice and Avery who are pretty good defensive players, and you'll be going against that, day in and day out?
I think it's super important because having good defenders, that's going to make you a better offensive player. Ice is going to push you. Ice, I've already played with Ice. He's not going to give you anything easy. So having a full year of practicing with that, I feel like that'll be a bigger challenge in most games, and I think that'll make a lot of games a lot easier because he is one of the better perimeter defenders in the country, I believe. So, I'm a defender as well, so I'm gonna make it hard on them. They're gonna have trouble scoring on me also, but just having that competitiveness, I feel like that'll really translate into games, and it'll also bring that energy to the rest of the team, when we play. So I feel like that'll be big for us.
I'm sure you're looking forward to getting in some of those good rivalry battles with your teammates.
Yeah, for sure. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm already knowing it well.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And Jason Elmquist, Stillwater News Press, go for it. Jason, you there? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Thanks for joining us. About a month ago, you tweeted out Black Lives Matter. We've seen Chuba Hubbard utilizing his platform here at Oklahoma State. How important is it, do you feel, for yourself and obviously a guy like Chuba to utilize your platform in your call for racial justice?
I think it's huge. The reason for me tweeting it out, I knew that was the perfect time to do it because it's something that I really believed in, but the NCAA sanctions had just came down, and I knew everybody was looking at my page ready for anything. So, I feel like that was the best time for me to, let my views on things be known. And, I feel like it was a good move for me, but, I'm super happy with how, Chuba Hubbard has been handling his situation, and how the football program is doing their thing right now. So I think everything's going in the right direction at Oklahoma State for sure.
Obviously, Coach Boynton has been vocal in this as well. How much has he allowed you guys to utilize your platform?
Coach Boynton is super transparent. He wants us to speak our minds and showcase what our viewpoints are, but he also does not hide the fact that there are consequences behind. If you say the wrong thing, there will be negative feedback. So just be smart with your words and be educated on what you're speaking on. So, hearing that from him as the leader of our program, I think that's big because it doesn't make us shy away from who we are or anything. And, we get to be who we, want to be and lead with our platform. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Might have time for one more question if anybody has one. If not, yes, we do. Is that Kyle Boone? Go for it, Kyle.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for your time today, Cade. Hey, piggybacking off of what Caden asked earlier, I'm curious, do you feel like going to OSU will start a new trend for OSU's luck with other top recruits in the future, or that you're maybe setting a new trend for Oklahoma State? It's kind of rare that OSU lands 5-star recruits, much less kind of recruits with one-and-done type of potential. So you're kind of charting a little bit of new territory in Stillwater. I'm curious what you think about that.
I want to be the guinea pig for it, and I don't really think I don't think guinea pig is the right word for it because I don't feel like I'm testing anything out. I really feel confident in the fact that Coach Boynton can get me where I want to be, and the rest of our staff can do that. So, it's really just for me to show, everybody else coming up that it's possible wherever you want to go. If you're good enough to be that pick that you want to be, then you can do that. The NBA scouts are not, they're going to find you if you're that good. So, I feel like Coach Boynton is who I want to play for. That's who I feel like can get me to that platform and to that level. And I think after that, a lot more people want to, follow behind and use that same route.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? Frank, one more? You got it. Go for it, Frank.
Sorry, just one more. Just to go on, have you had, I know it's early, but have you had any conversations involving the one and done in your plans?
Well, I mean, that's always been a goal of mine. You know, the NBA is the end goal for me. You know, hopefully it's in 1 year, but you know, if it's not, I'm comfortable with the people that I'm around. I'm comfortable that, you know, if I stay here 4 years, I would be just as happy as I am, you know, going into this year. So, you know, I'm not really worried about it. You know, I feel like whenever it's time for me to get into the NBA, I want to be able to last. So if it means I have to play here 3 years, then that's what it takes. So, you know, I'm more about staying in the NBA. So however long it takes. And yeah, if it's 1 year, then it's 1 year. And, you know, I'm going to try to make the most out of the year that I'm here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Danielle, do you have one more question? Go for it.
This is just for fun. Eskimo Joe's is such a staple for Stillwater, and I'm sure the cheese fries don't really, you know, fall into the category of what you should be eating every day. But have you had a chance to have any Eskimo Joe's yet?
It's crazy. Me and Chris Harris, we drove over there, and we walked in, but they said it was packed. It was super packed when I got there. And they said it was like a 25-minute wait. So we were like, but I will get in there. That's a promise. I will get in there and see what all the hype is about.
All right. Well, when you do, we expect like a full recap on your thoughts at some point.
Yeah, for sure. I'll give it a review.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Nathan Thompson, do you have one more question? Go for it.
All right. Yeah, Cade, just real quick, you're talking about the goal being one and done. If a season doesn't happen because of the pandemic, I'm just curious as you'll then be eligible to go to the NBA even without playing a season at college. Is that something you would look at, or do you want to try to get one season in at college regardless of if it's this year or next year?
You know, I'll talk with my family about that. You know, it's a tough call right now just because who knows what will happen. But, you know, I'll talk with my family and see, you know, what the NBA is thinking, what the GMs are thinking and everything. And just try to get as much feedback on what the best, you know, route for me would be, and I'll figure it out from there. I feel like that's a super long shot. You know, there's no telling from right now. So I'm just trying to stay in the moment and keep working. But when we get there, I feel like I'll make the best decision for me.